Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Mind the gap. Passengers are reminded that smoking is prohibited at all stations and on all train services. This includes e-cigarettes.
Hello, good evening everybody and welcome. How are we all doing today? We have the round of applause, although a little bit delayed there. Good evening, great to see so many of you here. Who have we got? Artie, hello. Nightbot, of course, Leo Low, SJA, Pig and Bob, Stephen Taylor, Opera Powie, Rowan, SJA, Vince, Sam Brooks, Eastman's Railway Fan, Lewis Folger, GJ Barnard, Crazy Dash, and many, many more. You are all welcome here. Say hello to the cat behind me. That one is Buddy, and all the mess behind me. It's been one of those days. Yeah. Welcome to this Dad Rail stream at the slightly later time of 2100. I'm hoping that's not going to become a regular thing. I'm hoping we are going to stay at 8:30. But as many of you know, my son Sammy is autistic and we're having a bit of sort of bedtime trouble at the moment, which is why it's been pushed back the last couple of times. That and a game update last time. So yeah, fingers crossed this won't be the new norm, but never mind, we are here now. Before we jump in, and as always, I have got to tell you that all the views and opinions expressed within this video are solely my own, may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with. We also have a new overlay screen. Hopefully this is going to work. No! We've broken the stream at this very early juncture. Although that's not entirely uncommon for a Dad Rail stream. We're going to try and fix this as we go along, because we can do that. We can do that. Apparently, he says. Right, let's try again. www.dadrail-rail.com. I need to get used to saying that. Thank you very much to Artie, who's been setting up the website. That is now live. You can head over to there. There's a little bit of content on there. We've got our staff diary channels from YouTube that have been migrated over there. So do go ahead and check that out. I was going to put it on the screen again, but it's not working. It's a one-shot wonder. I need to fix that. Anyway, I think it's about time we jump into Train Sim World and play some Antelope Valley. So this is a route that I've had since the game come out. Obviously, it was released with the game. We did play it a little bit on to the 24-hour live stream, but I haven't done a full run through on this. Now, this is going to be quite a long stream. We are going to be doing LA to Lancaster, LA Union down to Lancaster, so it is going to be around about two and a bit hours. So hopefully you can stay for the duration, but you know, I completely get it if not. It's a long time to be sat there listening to me rabbit on. So to the trains, train depot, timetable. And we're going to be driving the EMD F125 Metro Link on the Antelope Valley. And, yeah, LA Union to Lancaster Part 1. And then we've got LA Union to Lancaster Part 2. So the first bit's 1 hour, 16 minutes. Then Part 2 is 56 minutes. But we are going to be doing both of those on this stream. So let's load up Part 1. We are going to make it nice and sunny because it's LA and it should always be sunny. 15th of June. We'll keep the level weather as clear, but keep the dynamic weather turned on. Let's press get started. So while that is loading up, we are hopefully going to be having all of our usual features within the stream today. We are going to be playing our very popular game, Locomotive Location Livery. If you're not aware of how that works, I shall tell you a bit later on. It is very easy and very easy to join in with. We are also going to be jumping in and out of our Discord server. Let's see if this is going to work. Hurrah! There we go. Crazy Dash posting pictures of the said train already. We're going to be jumping in and out of our Discord server. If you want to post any pictures there, we're on the live stream pictures page. And you'll find an invitation link to our very friendly Discord server in the description below. Okay, without further ado, we are into the game. Drive this Antelope Valley train from LA Union to Vista Canyon, EMD F125 Metro Link. We are 433.1 tonnes, 5 coaches and 136.9 yards. Get started. Let me know if you need the game audio up or down, guys. As always, we can turn it up or down as we go along. Not a problem at all. I think it might be coming through a little bit loud at the moment, but do let me know. Okay, so let's get this thing fired up. I've got a cold as well. You'll have to excuse me and a bit of a cough. Reverser handle in. Generator field on. And have we done enough to unlock the doors? We have. And then we need to put our brake mode into passenger. EQ reservoir, that is absolutely fine. So we're going to drive without safety systems turned on because I've got no idea how they work. So we'll kind of see what happens. And we want to get some headlights on as well here. So bright lights and aux lights, which I think is about right. I love the sounds on this train. So I know Dovetail went to LA holiday. Went to LA on a business trip. All opinions are my own. And done a lot of sound recording with Metrolink. They had sort of full access to the train. Metrolink were running empty coaching stock services for them just to do sound recordings. So the sounds on this are, as far as I'm aware, they're bang on. I've never seen one of these in real life. I've never been over to the States rail fanning, as they would call it, but one day, definitely on the to-do list. So we are going to be calling at, apologies for the pronunciation, Glendale, track 1, Burbank, downtown, track 2, Burbank Airport, Sun Valley. That sounds like somewhere out of The Sims, doesn't it? Sun Valley. Salma, yeah, that one. Newhall, Santa Clarita, and then we go via Princessa track 1, Vista, and then Vista Canyon track number 2. Like I said, this is quite a nice long run on this one. So let's jump in and get started. So lock doors. We have still got a red signal down the end there. So I am not particularly familiar with American dwarf signals and kind of the whole setup and how things work. So this is very much make it up as we go along. But then most of my streams are. I do apologise for Mum Rail running around behind me tidying up. As you can see, Sammy's made a right mess, and we've only just managed to get him settled. So that's why she's now doing the tidy up. Normally this is all done and it's looking a bit better, but yeah. Okay, so we have still got a red up ahead. Yes, there's another train just pulled in. Is this going to be one of those games that breaks before we even get started? Let's release the brakes and pull down to the signal and see what happens. Brakes releasing, brake pipe coming up. And then we'll take a little bit of power. Hey, Vince has become a member. Thank you very much, Vince. I am a fan. I am a fan. Right, what have we got in the chat? Andrew Lonsbury, American signals are the most basic you can get. I don't know, Andrew. I think UK signals are easier. SJA, you worry too much, Richard. Your gaff is way tidier than mine, and I don't even have kids. Tidy house, tidy mind, and all that sort of thing. Okay, we've got a red and green, which maybe means we can go. Let's just assume it does. Speed limit 12 miles an hour. We're doing 15. That's within tolerance. Crazy Jess, it's pretty common to wait a minute or so for the tracks to clear. Oh, okay. And love the electric traction motors on this thing. It's very typical of kind of EMD. So obviously I drive the Class 66s, which are EMD locomotives, and all this kind of control switches are exactly the same as they are on the 66. The reverser handles exactly the same as it is on the 66. Yes, there's a lot of similarities between this and the 66. I don't know how to stop my front lights from flashing. Yeah, not sure how to stop my front lights from flashing or when they're supposed to be. Lorenzo, what is the red icon in the mini hub? So that was part of the latest update. The red icon in the mini hub is basically telling me to brake. So if you're coming down towards a station and you're not doing what you should be doing, that icon will come up in red, which is kind of your... it's kind of, you know, cueing you to do something. Hey, the pack. Hey, Andrew. Not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. So our first station is going to be Glendale in 4.7 miles. Yeah, it just seems weird that you can... I mean, we've got a red and a green, but that is clear. It's just... Yeah. Andrew Lonsbury, they auto-stop. Oh, okay. Indeed they do. Indeed they do. Okay, so we're good for 25. Let's get a little bit of power in. Vince, tried this route, it's fun, but those trains are a pain to set up from cold. Yeah, I can imagine, Vince. I have not attempted to do so. Yeah, crazy. The traction motor sounds are very nice on this. Almost sounds like a networker, like a 465 networker. The pack, aka Andrew, I am playing on PC, but this is available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Hey, the simulator guy, I drove a Class 700 for the first time yesterday. I'm assuming you mean in real life, bud. How did you find it? Let me know. Roy Michael Taylor, good evening from Derbyshire. What does your wife think of your shift patterns? Wife, what do you think of my shift patterns?
They are rubbish.
There you go. First-hand information. Lorenzo, what has changed on the track diagram on the right-hand side? I just remember the speed limits and signals. I think the stations are shown on there now, but I'm not 100% sure. I've only had a little play with it. We'll find out together as we go along. We can go a little bit faster now. We're good for 30. Good advice on the braking, Crazy. Not too strong. Go into suppression, which is about 64%. We'll see how we get on the first station stop. Quite a slow route so far. I think that the speed limit for the majority of this is about 50-60, but it does have some really nice scenery as we go along. Simulator guy, real life 700. No, I live in the US. Oh, no worries, bud. The blue bar on distance is the station. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we are getting stations on there now on the heads up to the right, Lorenzo. So you'll get a little blue bar come up, which is the station, which is good. It's a nice touch. Okay, we're good for 50. Let's get this thing going. So we should probably have a little run of the brake as well, just to check that they are working sufficiently. So in the UK, if we're doing running brake tests on locomotive hauled trains, generally you want to be doing 30 miles an hour at least, and you want to see a 10 mile an hour reduction in line speed, although that will depend on your individual company operating in policy. As Leo Low says, do a brake test. Absolutely. So we'll go with what you said, Crazy. We'll go straight into suppression. We're on a slight uphill gradient there as well, so that is going to help us a little bit. Okay, yeah, they don't seem too bad, but we'll play it by ear as we go along. And we're just allowing the brakes to fully release there before we put the power back in. Now, if we're driving EMD locos in the UK, such as Class 59, 66s, etc., etc., even 69s to some extent, they've got EMD engines in them. When we're going up and coming down on the power, we do it as notches. We don't sort of go idle straight to notch 8 or notch 8 straight to idle. It's click, 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 click. So you've got a pause in each notch. Roy Michael Taylor, she's very honest about my shift patterns, and she'll make it known when she's not happy. But all I'll say is the job keeps her in the lifestyle she's become accustomed to. It's a nice looking machine. It really is a nice looking machine. Okie dokie, so 3.1 miles to our next station stop. Let's play our first round of Locomotive Livery Location. If you don't know how to play this, guys, I'm going to play a jingle. Post your numbers between 1 and 25 in the chat. And, yeah, just play along with us. You'll see what happens.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Jonathan Hawks, awesome. Literally driving by my apartment right now. Nice. On screen. Okay, officially, Charles, you're the first one in. East Midlands Railway fan, you are the second one in. Crazy Dash, you are the third number on my screen today with number 17.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
So here's how this works. I'm going to give you box number 17. You've got 10 seconds to give me the locomotive livery and location of what you see underneath. Here we go. Any ideas what, where, how, why or when that may be? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Jonathan Hawks, Dodger Stadium is just to the left of the screen. Wish they'd put in the floodlights. Yeah, I can't see a stadium there. Maybe it's... we are good for 60. Let's get a bit more speed in. Going uphill as well. What are we reckoning? East Midlands Railway fine. It's gone 142. Roy Michael Taylor, I do sign the Class 69. Absolutely. GJ Barnard, who sent the picture in today? GJ Barnard Tube. Trying to remember which one I sent. It's on the big hill behind you. Oh, okay. Over there somewhere, I'm guessing. Oh, the hill is blocking it. Okay. Jonathan Hawke says, this is a scarily accurate look at LA. Nice, that's good to know. I've never visited LA. Do you want to go to LA?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'll have to work a few more days of overtime. So we got a speed limit of 79 miles an hour, which is quite interesting, I think, sort of speed. Why wouldn't it be 80? Why would it be 79? Does anyone know why in particular it's 79? So I'm just using the dynamic brake at the moment to slow down. Pro tip, go to San Diego. RT, Dad Rail Company holiday. Yes, we can definitely write that off in expenses. It would be just like the Dovetail fact-finding holiday trip mission. So I'm not sure at what speed you would blend in the air brake. I'm guessing kind of as and when we need it. Mikey, need cab signalling from 80 miles an hour. Okay, that makes sense. It looks like we're actually going to be early as well. It can't be happening. And I'm going to miss the stop marker because I'm playing with the windscreen wipers. I'm taking it. That was a stop. That was good. That was good. We're taking it. Unlock doors. Yeah, which side? Unlock both, maybe? I've got no idea. Hey, Chinook, I'm good. How are you? Raygun, Richard, what did you think of the new livery on 59101? Looks a bit rough. I've not seen it, if I'm being completely honest with you. Post a picture in the Discord, and we'll pop that up on the screen and have a look. Jonathan, 79 is the nationwide speed limit in the USA. That's good to know. We're actually running a little bit early. So Jonathan, obviously you're from the area. How do the trains tend to run? Do they tend to be on time? Is it a good service? How often do they run as well? Be quite interested to know. I've just realised I've got my Halloween top on. I meant to change that. I've had a jumper on all day, so it didn't matter. My Simpsons Halloween top. This is. I'm going to get sort of. Do I have to say this is not an advert or something like that? Luminarity, the Accelas do 150 with their signalling. Yeah, they've got the in-cab signalling, haven't they, the Accelas? We did do the Accelas on Boston Sprinter a little while ago. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'd like to do that again. I've got a few of the American routes. I'm not so keen on the American freight. They're just a little bit slow for my liking. You know, different strokes for different folks and all of that. But yeah, I would like to do like Long Island Railroad would be quite a good one to do. I've got the Boston Sprinter. What's the other one? The Metro one. New York Harlem. That one. We've got that. Yes, claimed Iraq. Okay. Have you seen the new 323 livery pattern and the TEA tankers? Yes, we had a little play with the TEA tankers on the last live stream. Not sure about the brakes on them, but I think there might be an update coming for that. And the 323 in Centro livery. So the next live stream will be Monday at 20:30, and we are going to be doing the 323 in Centro livery on the Cross City. So hopefully you can join me for that one. Should be a good one. Long, short, long at crossings. It's like Morse code at level crossings on the railways. Hey, Kingslayer, how are we doing? Good evening. The Pack, aka Andrew, do they have any northeast stations on this game like Durham or Newcastle? I don't think they do. Someone's going to correct me on that. We had the we got the Northern Transpennine route on here. But that's obviously that's sort of northwest. Northeast, we've got. I think there is a northeast route, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's sort of based in the 80s. Right, let's see. Have I got my brakes fully off? I have. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 79. We've got 3.7 miles to our next station, which is Burbank downtown. My bell is off, Supertramp. I do apologise for the ding-a-ling-a-ling, as Chuck Berry said, my ding-a-ling. We're not going to start singing. RT is currently blasting along in a Class 801 to Peterborough. In real life, RT, or in game? I am currently speeding massively. Okay, we've got a red and a flashing yellow. That is showing on my screen as a yellow. So let's get some braking. Tees Valley, that's the one Ian Morris. Is that's northeasty, isn't it, I think? TSW4, I'm at home, sitting on my bed, suffering from the same cold as you. You have my sympathy. You have my sympathy. So, Lorenzo just said, when approaching a level crossing, use the bell sequence button to the left of the controls. That's what that one does. Okay, I've slowed right down because the last signal is one yellow. I'm cheating by looking at my HUD. It seems like we've got one yellow coming up again, so I am going to give it a little bit of power. The pack, aka Andrew, yes, it is northeast. Let's get it going again. Let's have a little look around in the cab while we're here as well. If the game, please don't crash. It just looks like an EMD cab. Kind of, these coat hangers are kind of standard as well in our cabs on 66s. We've got exactly the same coat hangers. This panelling's very similar. The clips here that hold the panels in, all exactly the same. Okay, we've got a red and a yellow. And 1.1 miles to Burbank downtown. Hey, Samuel Smith, I'm good, thank you. How are you? So now we are red ahead. Irish 66 fan. Tees Valley is Darlington to Saltburn, or from Bishop's Auckland to Saltburn via Middlesbrough. There we go. Raygun playing SimSig with a few people on Strawberry Hill, Twickenham and Barnes panels. I have got to join a SimSig multiplayer at some point. I have never done a SimSig multiplayer, but I need to do that at some point. Definitely need to do that at some point. Yes, so we can see up here on the heads-up display on the right-hand side, we've got this little blue line, which is the station we're approaching. So that is good that we do now have those on there. And if I get too close to the station without braking, we'll get a nice red icon come up here as well. Supertram, I believe you have to sound and flash your lights when you are coming to a stop and starting, and also use them on level crossings. Yeah, I think when we're coming into stations, we're maybe supposed to have the bell on and then sort of have it on just before we leave as well. So we'll try and remember to do that. And using the dynamic brake a little bit there. Loving the 1920s architecture there. The very retro kind of Art Deco style. We've got to jump out and have a look at that. Dynamic brake on this is strong. A Supertram, yes you are. We're doing the right thing by ringing the bell. So we've gone from being early at the last station to being late. We're doing well. So at least see if we can get to the stopping point. It's close enough. We'll take it. We'll take it. And opening the doors on the right-hand side. Let's jump out and go and have a little look. Let's turn our bell off. The scenery is nice. Does the bus drive off? I expect it doesn't. See, this is how you do a station. Look at this. This is nice. This is very nice. We have no tail lamps on the back. Okay, ignore that. Pretend you didn't see that. Andrew says the 66 was apparently built on an SD40, so it is essentially a US loco with dual cabs and a different appearance. Ray gun, yeah, definitely, certainly will. And we are off to Burbank Airport to North Track. Last signal, as I remember, it was one yellow, so we are approaching a red. However, it looks like we do have a green up ahead. And as we got 2.8 miles to our next station, should we play a round of Locomotive Location Livery?
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
That's the one. Get those numbers in the chat between 1 and 25. Supertram, we are going from LA Union to Lancaster. Crazy Dash says the Pacific Surfliner branches off to the left to head down to Goleta and San Luis. Yep. Metrolink also runs down to Moore Park and Ventura County. Nice one. Ignore the excess speed and the bell. Let's turn that off. Okay, Locomotive Location Livery. Third number on my screen is Irish Railways with number 12. Let's play.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
No, my apologies. Not Irish Railway with number 12. The third number on my screen was Crazy Dash once again with number 14. Gonna give you number 14, guys. 10 seconds for that Locomotive Livery Location if you can. How's that looking with the blue and pink doors? I reckon that's going to give some of you a clue what we might be looking at. But as always, let me know your thoughts in the chat. We are driving an EMD something or other F125. Yeah, one of these. Which is a nice bit of kit. I'm enjoying driving this. Crazy Dash says, ooh, First Great Western HST. Could be. I couldn't possibly say. Supertram says HST in First Great Western at Exeter St David's. Artie says that's really giving it away a bit. Uh, 50 is our speed limit. We're on a slight uphill gradient. We'll just take the power back a little bit. 1.3 miles until our station. LW Rail says First Great Western HST on the Dawlish seawall. Oh, this sounds tasty from the outside. It does. Supertram, the Metrolink and the Antelope Valley came at release of Train Sim World 4, so depending on what package you bought, this was available at release with Train Sim World 4. Oh, is this Metrolink's newest train? Sorry, misread that. We are now approaching Burbank Airport North Track. The dynamic brake is pretty strong. We are on a 1.2% uphill grade as well. That probably does help get the speed off just a little bit. The Pack, aka Andrew, what's your favourite route on this game? My favourite route currently is definitely the Blackpool branches with a Pacer. Beautiful train to drive. Never thought I'd say that about a Pacer. And a beautiful route. See, I remembered the horn and the bell. I'm getting better. It's on the platform. It's not... Someone's going to cry tea and biscuits. It's on the platform. It's on the platform. Loving the American vehicles there as well. This has got to be chili dogs. Hot dogs. Hot dog, pretzel, sausage, hot niche, Italian sausage, shish kebab and beef patty. Oh, shish kebab. Shish kebab. Should we get a kebab? Thank you very much for watching. Good night. I feel like we need a branding patch for these cans here. We're back on time as well, which is pretty good. Richard, it's not tea and biscuits this side of the Atlantic. It's coffee and donuts. Coffee and donuts. We're not doing American accents because I can't do American accents. Crazy Dash, the only reason you have to line up with the stop markers is so that the rear car can line up with the wheelchair ramp. Ah, okay, that's pretty cool. We're going to have to go and check that out. Oh, I see. So idealistically, we would like the rear car to be stopped here, so then it allows level boarding. That is good. I'm 100% for accessible railway. That is good. No, okay, that's worth remembering, and thank you very much for pointing that out. Lock doors. We are good to go. Oh! No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're not going backwards either. Nobody saw that. We're off to Sun Valley, which definitely sounds like a place from The Sims. Track number 1 in 1.7 miles. Good for 79 miles per hour and running on greens. Let's drive it like we stole it. We're calling the cats in for the night. There's going to be cats climbing all over me in a minute. I have 4 of them. I don't have any cats. My wife has 4 cats. But in exchange for her 4 cats, I get to build a model railway layout soon. So it was a fair compromise. Or as I put it, my wife wanted a cat, I didn't. So we compromised and got 4. It's right. That is how it works. That loco looks like a beluga wheel. A beluga whale. You could nickname them orcas, couldn't you? You certainly could. Yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming from with that comment. Four cats for a railway sounds reasonable. It's not. I think I get a garden railway for that as well. Don't push it. Should we get some brakes in? It's on the platform. That's coffee and donuts. Yeah, that wasn't good. I did say drive it like you stole it. You did warn me earlier, Crazy Dash, about the brakes. They've been performing pretty well up until now, but that wasn't so good. That definitely wasn't so good. Yeah, do you know what, Andrew? That would be quite interesting to drive a US freight loco and see how it differs from a UK one. I would imagine in the kind of operating principle is generally the same, although I believe most US freight locos use triple valve braking, and obviously you have distributed power as well, which would take some getting used to for sure. But yeah, I mean, I would give me the opportunity, I'd have a go at driving anything, because all experience is good experience. Eliza, overshoot rail. Yeah. I think you should get a cat per model train. I don't have any model trains at the moment, so goodbye cats. Super Tram, yep, you can nickname them killer whales, which are my favourite water animal. Yeah, I was in Tenerife in the summer, and we went to a place called Laurel Park, and they have an orca show going now, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. I mean, the orca show was brilliant, and they kind of advertise it that the orcas there in captivity are ambassadors for their species and educating people, and why it was amazing to see the animals up close. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it really. But we did also do a whale and dolphin boat trip. We did see the whales out in the ocean, which was honestly superb, very, very magical. Okay, we're off to Science, whatever that says up there. Yeah, I can't say that. San Fernando, track 1. We're going there. The Amtrak Diesel Challenger looks like a 68 cut in half. It is quite 68-esque. I can definitely see where you're coming from with that. Iceland does great whale watching as well. Nice. Iceland is definitely on my to-do list. Is it? I think it's the Golden Circle you can do in Iceland. I mean, it's only like a 3-hour flight to Reykjavik. It's definitely on my to-do list, but Mum Rail is not really keen. On anywhere cold. But yeah, I would love to do Iceland. Blah 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 is pronounced Sil, like still. Silma. Okay, Silma. Right, we'll go with that. Crazy, I'm very, thank you very much you're here today. You're certainly helping out. But I'm genuinely, this is a really nice route to drive. And it's a really nice train to drive. And I like this kind of route where there's enough going on to keep you busy, where you're not just driving along for hours and hours on green signals with no stations to stop at or no speed limits. So there's enough going on here to keep me amused, which is always good. So we shut the power back a little bit. I keep forgetting the horn for these crossings. 29 if we can. The pack, aka Andrew, the only Iceland I like is the supermarket. And that's why mums go to Iceland. I'm not sure I agree with that advert anymore. This is the main part of the route where you get to go fast. Drive it like you stole it. Woohoo! Dadrow, do you have Class 08s at the yard you sign? So, I don't sign the 08. The only yard that I go to that has an 08 would be Eastleigh Yard. Funny story. A Cessna crashed onto the tracks on this part. Are you sure this is a funny story? A Cessna crashed onto the tracks on this part of the route and the Metrolink train hit the plane at full speed. Luckily the pilot got out in time, so he was the only one injured. It wasn't funny for the pilot. I can imagine that. Yeah, hello Signal, I've just crashed into an aeroplane. Right, we have a one flashing yellow, which probably means I should just slow down or do something. SJA, I do how much of this route... I think that's, I do like how much of this route runs adjacent to the road. Adds that feeling of a living, breathing transport network. Yeah, I would agree with that. Having other movement within the game other than the train is definitely always a good thing. Did someone mention a shunter? Okay, so we're staying at 79, or it's going up to 79. Driving by the HUD now. So I've just noticed on the left here, I noticed earlier, it says map not available. So I'm guessing that kind of on the American railroad, you use a combination of sort of route knowledge and sort of a virtual map, like a GPS map or something, similar to like they do on the German network with the Abula system. I'm guessing that's kind of what this screen would normally have on it. Crazy, any idea? We've got a one yellow and a red, which I believe is one yellow. Red ahead. Irish 66 fan. Some places in LA have a quiet zone, like the LA freight zone in the trench is a quiet zone. Oh, okay. No horns allowed. Good to know. Good to know. We've got a 60 coming up. We're doing 42, 1.1 mile to the station. I believe that's positive train control. It's America's main safety system outside of ACSES. No worries, SJ. We might possibly still be here when you get back, because this is, like I say, we are going to be on for coming up to 2 hours tonight to do the whole route. Supertram, you jumped by the... I jumped? Did I? $35. Yeah, I definitely need to remember that these signal sections are quite a considerable distance apart. I guess they're kind of signalled for... I assume you get freight along here, so I guess they're kind of signalled for sort of freight trains with really bad brakes on them. So they are quite a long distance apart. I need to remember that. Dadrow, where is Debbie? Debbie was here earlier. She's gone back. She's gone back home. She no longer lives here. Yeah, this is... I've definitely got to get used to the braking performance on this. Supertramp, I have noticed there is a CCTV camera watching you. Do you mean my ring camera behind me? I'm surprised you can see that from there. Let's try not to overshoot this one. We'll try and make a better job of this stop. Not that we can make much worse of a job than the last one. On this route, only 4 freight trains run per day. That's more than we get on a lot of routes in the UK. It's on the platform. I love the palms as well. I've got palms in my garden. I do like a nice palm tree. Let's see how well we didn't line up at the back. Oh, there's nothing. That was absolutely fine. What was wrong with that at all? That is exactly where it should be. For level boarding. Look at that. I mean, it probably should have been this door here, but that's fine. That's good. We'll take it. We'll take it. Oh, no in the cab, says Supertram. Okay. Surveillance is mandatory on all American trains because of a Metrolink accident that happened in 2008. The engineer was texting while driving. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's going to be tea and biscuits for your manager and probably out of a job. We're going backwards again. Yeah. Don't text and drive, people. No, seriously, don't. It's not a good idea. Trains, cars, or anything. I do not advise that. Okay, we're good for 60. We're off to Newhall, track number 2 in 7.4 miles. On this bit of the journey, we're calling at Newhall Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita. It's very Mexican. Then we go via Princesa and then Vista Canyon, where we will load up part 2 of the route. Irish 66 fan. I think I'm coming halfway through a conversation there. Andrew Lonsbury, the perks of American Passenger. The cab doesn't have to be in the platform. The Amtrak that goes to my city time oftentimes is outside of the platform with the cab. Okay. Chinook, you can text and fly a plane. That's at your discretion. I'm guessing that's probably not advised as well. I'm guessing. Oh, excuse me. Monty Burns Gaming. I find it weird how in America they call the driver the engineer, as if he fixes the train as well as the drives it. Yeah, it's just different terminology, isn't it? Because I think in America, like, signalers are called dispatchers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you also have like a conductor who's also a driver? I think the roles are somewhat different. It's just terminology, though. I saw you're saying that, Chinook. That's why we have autopilot, so we can put our feet up. I saw a meme the other day, and it was a picture of pilot and a first officer, and the pilot turns around to the captain turns around to the first officer and says, "Someday you'll be a real man." And the first officer says, "But I'm 34," and the captain says, "Yeah, but you engage autopilot at 2,000 feet." I thought it was amusing. That's one thing you've got to love about American trains is the horn, definitely. Justin Villaneva, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, that says conductor equals second man. Okay, interesting. Engineer equals driver. They've got another 45 coming up in a minute. We're on a slight uphill gradient, so we'll just shut the power back to idle there and hope it slows itself down. Yeah, I've heard that before. I am a pilot for Air New Zealand. Awesome. I would love to have taken that career path. Getting my PPL private pilot's license is on my bucket list. That's something I want to do in the next few years. I might have to let her have another couple of cats, possibly even a dog before I'm allowed to do that. But it's very, very much on the bucket list. The scenery on this with the new LiDAR terrain modelling is very good and very detailed. I do like what I'm seeing with this. Crazy Dash, sadly most F125s don't have as nice sounding horns as this one. Dovetail Games got lucky recording this unit. There's a 35 coming up, we should probably get some brakes in. So Irish 66 fan, is it quite common in America then for most trains to be double staffed? Got this 35 coming up. 2.2% uphill gradient, that's why. Know your gradients, very important as a train driver. Know your gradients. Know your gradients, use your gradients. Let the train take the strain. Not like I've just done. This is definitely the scenic bit of the route though. Crazy Dash, a cool little thing to notice, this unit has a backup horn. If you go to the dashboard on the back, you should find it. Oh, okay, interesting. Horn backup on. Oh, cool. Nicely modelled as well. I like that. That's good. That's a nice little detail. Thanks for pointing that out. The pack, aka Andrew. No, I haven't, unfortunately. I've never driven my train to Durham in real life. That's where that guy's from, isn't it, Durham? What's his name? That Boris Johnson advisor. Didn't he go to Durham? I can't think what his name is. Blimp 191, nice graphics, but the mount is about... What was his... Dominic Cummings, that was it. Didn't he go to Durham? He went to Durham just to check his eyes were working, didn't he, or something? He had to go for an eye test in Durham. Must have good opticians up there. I am not regulating the speed of this train very well. I'm doing a very bad job at driving this train. Dominic! That's the one, Artie. The textures on the tunnel walls are pretty good. I quite like that. Irish 66 fan. Passenger trains have a train manager as well as a guard. See, the company I work for, they refer to their drivers as train managers and the shunters as assistant train managers. So, again, even in the UK, we have some blurred lines with terminology. So technically, my job role, I am not a train driver. I'm a train manager. That is what my job role is. Although I drive trains, so yeah. Terminology can be blurred and crossed over. So we've got 85 of you lovely people in tonight who've got nothing better to do on a Friday night than watch me play Train Sim, which is great. You're very welcome here. It's great to have you. If you haven't already, do please hit that like button. Consider subscribing. That would be absolutely fantastic. And whilst we are going through a very long, straight and slow tunnel, we might as well play a game.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
GJ Barnard. Dominic Cummings went to Barnard's Castle. Strange how I remember that. The ancestral home, GJ? I trash panda. I've got a throat infection. I'm dying. You are in good company here. You are in very good company. Myself and Artie. Yeah, exactly. Well, what about throat infection? I've got something. GJ, nope. Okie dokie, diddly pokey. Crazy Dash, I'm not sure how you're doing it today, but you are the third one on my screen again. We always go for the third one because it was kind of the fairest way of doing it. We might have to change it to the second or the fourth. Crazy Dash, you've done it again. You are going for number 9.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Just going to give you box number 9, guys. It's 10 seconds for that locomotive livery and location. If you can, please. And GJ Barnard Tube sent this one in. And if you want to send any pictures in for locomotive location livery, you can do via the Dadrail website, dad-rail.com. That's the one, dad-rail.com. I don't even know my own website address. The Artie has been working on. We also have our staff diary channels over there and various other little tidbits, so worth heading over to there and having a little look about what we've been doing. Right, we're good for 40 now. We're on a 2% downhill grade, so we'll just let that speed come up. I think we're going to need to make use of the dynamic brake now to kind of hold the speed to stop it running away with us. So we'll chuck a little bit of that in there. Raygun's gone HST on the Dawlish wall. Supertram's gone first great wedge and HST at Danish. I think you might mean Dawlish there. I am getting that dynamic in there, but it's not... I don't think it's quite strong enough. Might need a bit of air brake to hold that. No, we are retarding. It is coming down. It is coming down. There we go. The important thing is to stop it running away in the first place. Raygun, the best way to submit for my locomotive location livery is now via the website. There is a form on there to fill out to submit pictures. That is definitely the easiest way of doing it, and that is www.dad-rail.com. I do have a nice overlay, but it's not working as it intended, unfortunately. Okay, we are 0.6 miles away from Newhall, which is our next station. 2.5% downhill gradient. That is pretty severe. And we're going on towards the red as well. Wouldn't fancy doing this in Lower Dijon. We put a bit more dynamic brake in. Just bring that speed down a little bit more, I reckon. It is working. It is acting. I think we're just going to give it a little bit of air brake as well, just to assist it there. And we'll take the dynamic off. The stations on this route are very Art Deco. It's a very good looking route. I'm not doing very well with these station stops. That was terrible. But as long as the back carriage is on the ramp, it is fine. That is what I am told. We don't have an accessible boarding ramp here, so it's... I mean, we do, but even if I'd stopped on the stop mark, that wouldn't be lined up. Oh, excuse me, I'm not taking responsibility for that one. Yeah, Artie, I can probably fix the URL thing actually if I try really hard. I know what's wrong with it. There we go. It should work now. We should be able to put the website up on the screen. Let's try this. The Pack, aka Andrew, did you know Christmas is cancelled? Santa got the sack. Wait, okay, let's do this again. Christmas is cancelled. Santa got the sack. Please do send your dad jokes. We do like dad jokes. We are very open and warm to dad jokes of a family-friendly nature, of course. And we are good for 40. We're off to Santa Clarita. Sounds like that should be a song. Santa Clarita. Okay, Artie also says we have dadrail.co.uk. Right, this should now work. Okay. Well, hey, success! www.dad-rail.com. I am definitely ringing my bell leaving the station. Raygun, I am trying to upload it, but unfortunately it keeps saying there is an error when uploading the file. You will have to speak to the DadRail Technical Support Department, who is on the line now and is ready to give live technical support. We are good for 70. We do have a 50 coming up. Okay, we're on a 1.7% downgrading. So I guess we've kind of climbed up through the mountain now and we're descending down the other side. Do you know what? I'm not going to give that any power. I am just going to let that roll. I am just going to let that roll. Alexa, how many sleeps until Christmas?
It's 10 sleeps until Christmas. My friend Santa has an update for you.
Ho, ho, ho. Mrs. Claus and I have decorated our house. Have you got Christmas decorations up?
No. We were supposed to have at this point. Oh, I've just set everybody's off. I do apologise. Looks like Artie is fixing the locomotive location livery problem. Everyone is having the same problem, Artie. What have you done? You broke it. It's overused. It was not designed to handle the immense amount of traffic that we're having. The DadRail Technical Support Department is dealing with the issue. We apologise for any delay and inconvenience this may cause. We hope to have this issue resolved momentarily. Oh, we're good for 70 again now. Okay, let's get a little bit of power in. 1.1 mile to Santa Clarita. Artie, it was my fault. I was trying to set up an AI system for something and filled the server hard drive. Oh, okay. The AI is already causing issues, see? I want a kebab. I had a pot noodle for dinner and I want a kebab now. did have McDonald's for lunch though, but... Someone encourage me to eat healthily, please. Okay, there's a 39-mile-an-hour speed restriction. Crazy says, don't ask why the speed limit's odd numbers going forward. I don't know why they're like that myself. Fair enough. Yeah, it does seem a little bit strange. Oh, yeah, no, we definitely want to slow down on this corner. That's a bit harsh. Santa Clarita. Anything for those McDonald's points? Yeah, I don't even use the app. I mean, that is terrible. I should definitely be using the app. I don't frequent McDonald's that much, though, to be fair. It's not my first choice. Crazy Dash, now approaching my local station. Awesome. Did you meet any of the Dovetail team when they were over, Crazy Dash, doing filming? I'm guessing probably not, because they probably really didn't advertise they were there, but... if that's your local station, it's a very nice part of the world you live in, my friend. We usually don't emphasise the T's in Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita. Yeah, okay. But my way's much more musical. Santa Clarita. Danny, you're of a Latino kind of persuasion. Are you from Portugal? How would you say it?
Santa Clarita.
There you go. The Pack, aka Andrew, says the turkey got told to go away and get stuffed. You can't hear it, but I'm doing the little rim shot sound effect at the same time. See, most of the jokes that I know are far too not family friendly. I don't know many family friendly jokes. See if we can have a better stop than the last couple now, shall we? Raygun says, Andrew, do you see the door? Taxi! Right, we stopped. Spilt tea, but we stopped. I'm desperately trying to think of some dad jokes now that are not rude without resorting to Google. This station is planned to be double tracked relatively soon. Nice. Raygun, yeah, all the jokes I know are from PG. Yeah, that definitely is the issue I have. Today's train service is not accessible. We do apologise for that. Is anyone doing Whamageddon? Don't worry. If I play it on the stream, YouTube will take away the 20p that I'm going to earn from doing this stream. So I'm not going to play it. Is anyone doing Whamageddon, or anyone was doing Whamageddon, and how are you getting on with it? I was telling my wife about Whamageddon. She didn't believe it was a real thing. Supertram, I am not even going to dignify that one by reading it out. That's... Hey Stu, good evening, how are you doing? Stu, do you have any family-friendly dad jokes? Preferably about Christmas, but anything at all. What happens in VC stays in VC, but there are limits. I I am desperately trying to think of one now. If my youngest, my almost youngest son, my second youngest son, is it second youngest or second middle or third eldest? One of those. That one. If he was here, he would be bang on it because he has so many jokes. It's unreal. Yeah, see, I have jokes like, what's red and hairy? And it's a dog that's been sunbathing. Irish 66 fan. Is this going to get a rim shot or is this going to get a sad trombone? Did you hear Santa was pulled over by the police while flying his sleigh? He got arrested for drinking and flying. Oh! Yeah, no, these are bad. These are worse than mine. Ray Gunn says, "What's red and hairy?" Fear there are two answers to that. There are absolutely not two answers to that joke. No. Now, this is a very, very serious announcement now. If you know someone that has lost all of their Christmas spirit, you can nurse them back to Elf, says Vince. I think that's enough now. Back to the trains. When I was at school, instead of numbers we had letters. I got into trouble, had to see my head of year, Miss Whale. There she was on the sea floor. The pack, aka Andrew, that's probably the best one we've had so far. I stood on a pin yesterday. I felt like a right prick. Okay. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Anyway. We can do 70. We're doing 38. Let's get this thing moving. Yeah, Craig, I am saving all these up for the Christmas crackers. The Dad Row Christmas crackers. No, that's not happening. Dad Row Children in Need charity Christmas crackers. Elf on a Shelf. Yeah, we must keep it PG. Otherwise we're gonna get some YouTube strikes. No, we'll be fine. Famous last words. To what now? Raygun, 70 miles an hour, highway to the danger zone. That'd be a nice meme. Captain Picard facepalm for bad jokes, Richard. Yeah. I've seen the memes. Right, what are we doing? We're 900 odd yards away from... Oh no, we're not stopping here. We're going via Princessa Track 1. It doesn't want me to stop here. Speed limit coming down? Oh no, stop at location via Princessa Track 1. Is that a station called Via Princessa, or is that like we're going via that location? That seems a bit strange to me. Oh, pardon me. And I want to get some brakes in, though. All the station stops at the beginning of this stream were pretty good, and it's just kind of gone downhill from there. We'll see if we can at least get one half decent one. It's on the platform. That's the best one in a while. Monty Burns Gaming, what did the snowman say to the other snowman? You smell carrots? Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What have we discovered about the Dad Rail audience so far? We have discovered they have a very limited sense of humour. Takes one to know one. Right, we are off. I believe we are heading down to our, Vista Canyon in 6 minutes, which is the end of part 1 of this route. Part 2 is not quite so long as well. That is slightly shorter. We are on our way. This is definitely not going to be a platinum medal attempt. We don't have safety systems on, so certainly not. If I get a silver, I'll be happy, because it has been pretty abysmal. Via Princessa means Princess... okay. Cabep, thank you very much. Oh, stew. As long as my wife is sitting over there on her phone, say hello. Hi. As long as she's laughing at the jokes, you're doing well. But her knowledge of geography is not great. I wanted to be a small island off the coast of Italy. I said, don't be so silly. Yeah. Oh, okay. We should have been doing 25 through that crossover. Don't joke and drive, kids. It's not good for you. We've just done a Lumo!
Emotional damage!
All views and opinions expressed within this stream are solely my own and do not reflect or may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with. And I should still be doing 25 and I should probably slow down. Yeah, okay, you can definitely have a tea and biscuits for that. Sorry, coffee and donuts. This is the American version. Yeah, Tim Vine is definitely good for clean jokes. I've been touring around the north of France doing Star Trek impressions. Dunkirk? Yeah. No, she doesn't get that one. There's only one thing I don't like about Halloween, which is... Sorry, the jokes are starting. Artie, I do apologise, but it's just too good an opportunity to... you know, I got told off in the last stream for making a reference to purple trains. See, if I say we are being a purple train, then I could mean... Or they're not purple, though, are they? They're blue. Sorry, Reagan, I'm being told off for saying that. I am not allowed to say we've done a Lumo. We're going to have to change the way we word that joke. We're going to have to change the way to... We have done a nondescript Hitachi unit move. or something like that. Words to that effect. We're supposed to stop here because this is the end of the scenario. That would be quite bad if we didn't. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. As we approach Vista Canyon, which again is... The modelling on this route, I'm loving the detail on the platform there. The modelling on this route is very good. Yeah, you say Supertram, you say I can't say that, but it happened. It was real. It was a thing. It happened. So therefore, I can say it because it did happen, and it was a Lumo train, and you know, I know I shouldn't, but there we go. Okay, we only lost 1,365 points for speeding. That's not too bad, right? Okay. And we did get a silver medal, so I'm definitely going to take that. Silver medal is good news. Elizabeth line is purple Richard to Reading. Purple. Okay, so let's jump on and do return to timetable, and we're going to do part 2 of this little run. I'm wondering if we can do part 2 from the driving trailer, which I've not yet had a go on. That would break it up a little bit. Yes, but you have a reputation to uphold, and you should be professional. Moving on. So the Roton bi-level cab car Metrolink. I don't know if we're going to be able to load up the same scenario, but we'll have a go. It's the later one there, isn't it? So we're doing LA Union to Lancaster. Yeah, I'm guessing because the train's kind of the wrong way round, isn't it? I guess we could do Lancaster to LA Union part 1. That's a 2-hour 22-minute scenario. We are not doing that. Yeah. Okay. No, we'll stick with the Metrolink, the F125. There's our part 1. There's our part 2. 56-minute run. We're going to go back to the... Hey, Nong Hardianto. Welcome to Denver, new subscriber. We'll go 15th of September this time, because we might get a bit of interesting lighting going on. And we'll see what happens. Ira66 fan says, Locomotive Livery Location. You are quite right. Let's press the button.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
And post those numbers for Locomotive Livery Location. Supertram 103, stupid ad. I do apologise. The ads are set for once every 30 minutes, which is less ads than you would see on a TV broadcast. So, and they do help to contribute to the 50p that I get from YouTube every month or so. I wish I was joking about that, but it literally is not very much at all. So, like the 24-hour live stream we done, that whole 24-hour stream, which had over 7,500 views, I think it earned just over £50. And that was because a few people done super chats and stuff as well. So the actual ad revenue on like a 2-hour stream that gets like, you know, 500 or 600 views is not very much at all. So I do it because I love doing it, but we've spoken about that in the past before. Alright, so I've actually got to set the train up from the beginning, which is a little bit annoying. So last time I attempted to do this, which was on the 24-hour live stream, the signal down the end wouldn't clear. We got stuck permanently on a red. So I'm hoping the same thing's not going to happen again. But we shall see. Locked doors. Right, we're going to pull down to the signal and see what happens. I've purposely done this in the opposite direction to what I'd done it on the live stream, so I know it wasn't the broken scenario that I loaded up. See, I'm hoping this is going to work. Hey, Supertram, no worries. Thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Right, what do we got? Locomotive Livery Location. Ray gun. You are the third one on my screen with number 13, which is smack bang in the middle, I believe. We got a green and a red, which means green. And we are moving. So, with number 13, let's play.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Box number 13, guys. 10 seconds for that Locomotive Livery Location. If you can, please let me know your thoughts. Yeah, I think quite a few people are kind of there with what this is now. But as always, do let me know your thoughts. Do let me know what you think it could be. And we've started part 2 of this stream by speeding straight away. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Stu, I rang up British Telecom and said, I want to report a nuisance caller. He said, not you again. You're easily pleased, Danny. Whatever you're on, I would like some. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Watch the Dabrow stream, they said. It will be fun. Start selling tickets to this as a comedy show. People would be paying me to shut up. We could try that with next year's live stream. Pay me to be quiet. There will not be a live stream next year. That's not happening. I'm not saying anything. Right, 55 coming up. Let's get a little bit of power in. Okay, so we are stopping at Vincent Grade, Acton, Palmdale, maybe, Palmdale and Lancaster. So only a couple of station stops on this. And then we've completed the whole of the Antelope Valley line. We're still good for 55. Let's keep it in. Stu, are you Googling these? Right. Stu, I think we're going to have to get you on the voice chat sometime. This is going to have to happen. I saw this bloke chatting up a cheetah. I thought he's trying to pull a fast one. No, no reaction that time. Go on, Irish 66 fan. LW Route, please turn the sound effects down as they are much louder than everything else. Yeah, not a problem. We can absolutely do that.
And we say bye-bye.
Hopefully that's a little bit better. A W4LT. I think I'm going to have to buy Train Sim 4 just so I can get the new Goblin line. Although, sod's law, I'll buy it in Train Sim 4. I'll buy Train Sim 4 and Train Sim 5 will come out. Yeah, no comment. Hey, Crazy Dash, welcome back. Just had some lunch. It's 10:30 at night here. It's almost time for a kebab. I'm liking the bridge out there across the river. That looks pretty special. Are we going to go across that bridge, or is that like a road bridge? I guess we'll find out in a minute. So we're good for 55. We'll get it going a little bit. Might get some flyby shots as we're coming along here, because it is quite a nice scenic bit of railway. We are going to have to go and investigate the Golden Gate, the Golden Knot Gate Bridge. That bridge is for a pipeline, really? Wow. That is some engineering structure for a pipeline. Oh, that literally is a suspension bridge for a pipeline. Wow. From a distance, that looks really impressive. That, yeah, from a distance, that genuinely does look like a really impressive structure. Irish 66 fan, is this going to be PC? If it's not PC, I can't read it out. Oh, Stu. I think it's because of the empty riverbed to your left. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Crazy. I guess this is kind of... It's the Antelope Valley, so there has to be a valley in it somewhere. Idiotic lasagna. I'll put a limb out and say the loco on this looks horrid. We were kind of commenting earlier saying it looks a bit like a killer whale or an orca or a beluga whale. And someone said it looks a bit like a Class 68. Excuse me. Class 68 as well, which I can kind of see where they're coming from. The Pack, aka Andrew. The elastic got sentenced by a judge. He put it away for a long stretch. Oh, she just shook her head at that one. Was that not approving? No. Yeah, these speed limits are really, really curious. It's almost like they should be kilometres an hour instead of miles an hour. Like 34, 39. I mean, Crazy, you said you weren't quite sure where... I think it was you that said you weren't quite sure why that was. Does anyone else know why the speed limits are kind of odd numbers? I mean, well, 34 is not an odd number, it's an even number. But you know what I mean. Why they're kind of not sort of rounded to the nearest 5 or the nearest 10. Yeah, Raygun 11589 seen one of the last coal trains in Wales today. That makes me both happy and sad because obviously the phasing out of fossil fuels has got to be a good thing for the planet. But any kind of work not being done by rail and any kind of services finishing is never anything we really want to see. The hills do look absolutely lovely. I think they do. I'm struggling to maintain a decent speed with this locomotive though. We're very kind of all over the place. Stu, a friend of mine always wanted to be run over by a steam train. When it happened, he was chuffed to bits. Oh. Yeah. Sorry for that loss. You should be, Stu. Unbelievable. Chuffed to bits. Chuffed to bits. Cab Bep, some trains have to wait a long time at the start of part 2 as there is a meeting train in the block ahead. Yeah, I think that's probably what happened to me last time, because last time I fired up part 2, I just waited ages and ages for anything to happen. So, yeah, Crazy Josh, we're still doing some, well, if you can call them jokes, that, you know. Irish 66 fan, I've played Peak Forest in Train Sim, I've never been there in real life. Definitely worth a visit though. It's not somewhere I don't think I'm ever going to get to go there in an official capacity as a driver, but as an enthusiast, definitely worth a visit. you're definitely having to regulate the speed here. But the scenery is really, really quite nice on this. We need American steam. That's it. Come along here with some sort of steam engine would be lovely. Hey, Artie has fixed the Locomotive Location livery submission form. Big round of applause for Artie. Thank you very much, bud. So that means if you want to submit any Locomotive Location livery images, you can do via our new website, dadrail.com. No, dad-rail.com. Some Japanese firm has nicked the name dadrail.com. I'm not quite sure what they want with it, but hey ho. Okay, so we're good for 44 miles an hour. The speed limit's coming up ever so slightly. Right, thank you very much. And we'll keep it going. Yeah, Cap Bet, we kind of understood the 79 miles an hour because at 80 you need the in-cab signalling system. So we kind of understood that one. But as through this section we've got 44 instead of 45 and like 39 instead of 40. That kind of just didn't seem to make sense. Artie, in future just say dadrail.co.uk. Okay, right. It's dadrail.co.uk from now on. These jokes, I can't even read these jokes out. I mean, they're just so terrible, which is good to keep them coming. I mean, dad jokes are supposed to be terrible, aren't they? I just don't know any that are suitable for sharing with a family audience. I mean, like earlier on today, my son went to his friend's house earlier on today for dinner. I didn't know he was having dinner there. I picked him up from his friend's house, and on the way home in the car, I said, "Oh, what did you have for dinner?" "Oh, we had sausage." "All right, and what did your friend have?" What was it? Chip shop. "Oh, what did you have from the chip shop?" "Oh, I had Savoy chips." "Oh, okay, cool. What did your friend have?" "Oh, my friend had Savoy chips." "Oh, so your friend likes sausage?" And apparently, like, my son starts laughing. Apparently, like, it's like, you know, just had a Savoy. Yeah, I don't know. The minds of children today, they're just so grown up. I did follow that up. I did follow that up by saying, I said, yeah, when I go to the chip shop, I normally have pie, but your mum has sausage. When in fact she normally has two because she prefers two sausages because she's quite greedy. And for some reason that got a bit of a laugh from my son, and that's really not appropriate. Yeah, doesn't get a laugh now. Oh, Stu, that's quite a good one. My next door neighbour worships exhaust pipes. He's a Catholic converter. Did you know in the Vatican, this is a true fact. Talking of Catholics, I read this the other day. Do you know there are over 5,000 cats living within the Vatican City? Did you know that? Within the Vatican City, there are over 5,000 cats. Apparently, the Pope is a cataholic. I'm sober, I promise. I know, Raygun. I will send him. Yes, I will send him to church. He will be going for confession. Yeah, Irish 66 fan. If we're going to get an American steam loco, I think it's definitely got to be the big boy, isn't it? I think it's definitely got to be if we're going to get one. Yeah, Artie, that probably did overstep the mark a little bit. Yeah, that probably was a bit over the mark. I do apologise. Gonna need more than a splash of holy water to get the jug. The scenery on this jet, it is a really, really scenic run. It's very nice indeed. I've not driven this bit of the route before. I thought I had driven this bit of the route on the live stream. I thought I'd done this in the opposite direction. I thought I'd done Lancaster to LA, but obviously not, because this doesn't look familiar at all. But it was about 3 o'clock in the morning at the time, and I probably had my eyes closed for most of it. Anyway, let's get this stream back on track, shall we? Let's bring the tone up a little bit, get our minds out of the gutter, and play some Locomotive Livery Location.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location. Yeah,
Crazy Dash. It is. I'd definitely like to ride this in real life one day. It's very, very scenic. There are lots of routes sort of over in America, Canada, the Rocky Mountains. I'd like to do. I think for me though, it's probably going to be more of a when the kids have grown up and moved out kind of a trip. It's not something I'd really want to do with the kids. I don't think they'd particularly enjoy it. So I don't even know if the wife would enjoy it, to be honest with you. But would you enjoy going on a scenic railway trip? She did enjoy the GB Rail Freight Staff Charters painting. I can't show you the pictures, but all I'll say is there was an open bar and it didn't end well. Yes, let's forgive and forget. We're moving on. Yeah, SJA definitely. We're running. The scenery has changed considerably. We've gone from running alongside a road to dusty mountains. And I am really struggling to maintain the speed of the train going up here as well. The gradient is having a massive impact. Not to mention the curves as well, which increases the friction on the wheels, which affects our rolling resistance. Could definitely do with some sort of cruise control system to try and hold the rather weird 29 mph speed limit. The Pack, aka Andrew. Did I ever tell you the joke about the pencil? No, I'm not going to. It's pointless. Crazy Dash says the F125 has high spirits. It can be better than the SC44. It isn't. It just gets charged instead. Only Americans will get this joke. Okay. For the Americans. The Stig, you commented on one of my YouTube videos saying that the other day. I wonder if there'll be any signs of the Japanese bullet train and a local commuter and some routes for it, along with a TGV and monorails, maybe even in theme park type or safari park type. Yeah, we've got the LGV Mediterranean, which is the TGV route. For Tracing Well, which obviously we've never done on stream. For me personally, I'm not particularly fussed about the bullet train, but I know there are quite a lot of people that would like to see that in game. Yeah, in terms of monorail stuff, having the Wuppertal Schwebebahn, been there, go and check out my video on it. Having the Wuppertal Schwebebahn on there would be really good. That would be quite an interesting thing to drive. But from conversations I've had previously, I don't think it would appear in Tracing Well because the game physics are not set up to handle it, so I don't think we're likely to see it. But yeah, you never know. You never know. Irish66 fan, a Cura scale has a new 66763 on the way, Richard, if you want one, £169. I'll just play an advert or two, and then I might be able to afford the 99p that you failed to add. I nearly did order a Colas Class 56 the other day from manufacturer beginning with R, can't think of the name. Which was very, very nice indeed, but I held back. Yeah, SJA, I'm looking forward to seeing the Goblin. It's been in the works for quite a while. I'm looking forward to seeing what they've done with that. Seems there's lots of hype for the Goblin line. I think at the moment, for me, I would definitely like to see some Welsh lines that a Welsh Valleys add-on would be really nice. I think sort of maybe we've sort of said before about sort of more up north kind of stuff. We've got the Midland Main Line, an extension to that I think would be quite nice. East Coast Main Line down to King's Cross would be very good as well. Yeah, I mean the route that I most want to see, I want to see the East Coastway line extended through to Ashford with a 171 put on there, or even like a thumper put on there, like a 205 or 207 thumper would be amazing. Or Brighton Main Line, the branches, and have like maybe the Uckfield branch on there, the East Grinstead branch, Horsham, so you can run the 700s on it. But of course they're sort of my local routes and the routes I signed, so I am a little bit biased with those. Yeah, Raygun, it could have been 56051. I can't remember. It was a Colas one. I can't remember the manufacturer. Revolution Trains, yes, Irish 66 fan, I believe it was. They were on pre-order. Stu, Locomotive Location Livery. Yes, I did play the jingle. Stu, you were the only one that actually posted a number. So by default, even though you were the first number on the screen, you are going to get it, which was number 10. So, without further ado...
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
We should play Locomotive Livery Location. Stu requested number 10. 10 seconds. Give me that Locomotive Livery and Location. I think most people have got this one in the bag now. Warden Restorations, good evening, how are we doing? Great to have you here. Cab Bep, I would like more from Scotland. There's so much you could do in Scotland. I agree, yeah. I would like to see like the Highland, West Highland or something like that. Maybe with the Jacobite on it would be really cool. Games not freezing. Come on, load in the next tile. Cali Sleeper, something like that would be really, really cool. Possibly with 73 9s on it. Irish 66 fan, it could have been Cavalex actually, it might have been. Artie, the injustice.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
To avoid a steward's inquiry, we are going to do Artie's number 25 as well, because steward's inquiry, we can't be having a steward's inquiry. So... 10 seconds. I reckon you're getting there now. I reckon everyone knows what it is. A 153 would be nice. I think a 153 would be a pretty versatile unit to have in game. I think there's lots of places you could put it in game and it would work. So yeah. Definitely, 153 would be good. Yeah, W4LT, I think I personally prefer routes that are more network-like, so there are more options for operational variation. I don't disagree with you. If you've got, you know, multiple branch lines and stuff like that, that definitely does give you that extra layer of immersion. It's one of the things I quite like about Southeastern High Speed is you've got the domestic lines and the classic lines as well. It does give you those options. Crazy Dash, no worries. Thank you very much for joining us, bud. Appreciate all your advice today as well. It's been really helpful, so thank you very much. Yeah, Great Western Express is another route that I would love to see redone. Yeah, I think having that route on there maybe extended down to Westbury, or even if you sort of turned left at Reading West and went down to Basingstoke, I think that would be quite good. But again, South Western Main Line would be pretty cool. Lots and lots of options. I would quite like to see C2C, as in the whole C2C network, so sort of Fenchurch Street down to Southend and Shoebury Ness. I think that would be a really, really nice addition. I think you could probably build, we're good for 50 now, I think you could probably build the entirety of the C2C network as one add-on, and I think that would be genuinely quite an interesting sort of add-on as well. So yeah, Raygun 60 is probably my favourite freight loco, so I would definitely be hyped for one of those in game. But I mean, you could run a 60 on Southeastern High Speed because direct rail services do run 60s down to the Isle of Grain. But yeah, as for where else you could run it, I'm not entirely sure. Midland Main Line, you could probably get away with it, but yeah. Yeah, thanks, Crazy. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, no one has done C2C on any sim so far as I can see. I think C2C would be a really good one to do, because you can do that whole network. You can have an end-to-end run. It's probably, is it about an hour or just over an hour for a whole end-to-end run? I very much like, with my routes, I like having that closed loop. I like to be able to start something and finish it. Like with East Coast Main Line, I'm starting at Peterborough, finishing at Doncaster. I don't like that kind of, I've just got a little bit in the middle. I like to actually do something from start to finish. It's like Birmingham Cross City. I like being able to go from Lichfield to Redditch, you know, or vice versa. I can actually complete the whole route. Brighton Main Line, Victoria to Brighton, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Edinburgh to Glasgow. It's the whole route. It's not just kind of a snippet of the route, and that really appeals to me personally. Raygun, Swansea to Cardiff route would be good. Yeah. Yeah, Artie makes a good point. With the Adventurer coming to Goblin, C2C could quite easily just use the same traction, the same with parts of the Great Eastern Main Line and the Greater Anglia. Yes, it's quite possible. And of course, we've already got Electrostars in game, and the sound packs would pretty much be the same for the 357. I don't know if we've got AC sounds model for the Electrostars, but the sound packs would be very, very similar, I'd imagine. And if we're going to put the 357 on, we might as well just use, you know, turn it into a 171 as well. Ah, see, GJ Barnard. Could Dovetail Games model Romley Hive and Dymchurch Railway, I wonder? Oh, that would be quite an interesting thing to do. So there is an excellent game on Roblox, a Romley Hive and Dymchurch Railway game on Roblox, and I've been meaning to do it on the channel for the longest time. I've spoken about it for ages and ages and ages and never got round to doing it. But Romley Hive and Dymchurch on Roblox is very, very good. So if you've not, GJ, if you've not played Roblox before, just go to Google, type in Roblox. It's completely free to play. And look for the Romley Hive and Dymchurch game. It's good. It's very good. Yeah, W4LT. I've said this one before. I think the Elizabeth line would be good, as long as you do it all the way out to Reading, of course. I think it would be good with definitely with the airport branches. I think the ATO section in the middle would give it. I mean, some people say that would be boring, but I think that would give it a little bit of operational variety. So I think that would be a good thing. But Lizzie line. Definitely Lizzie line. I would go for that. Right, we are 4.9 miles from our first station, which is Vincent Grade, Acton, Track 2. Acton! Stu, I would like to see Leamington to Nuneaton as class 110, 153, 66 and 196 use the line. The 66s go from Southampton Docks to Crewe and the north. Yeah, a bit of the Chilterns would be pretty cool. Can't deny that. I think if we had anything with the Chilterns, I think I'd want to see the 68s on it though. Although I think they've now gone. 68s with the Mark IIIs and the DVTs. I think they've now gone, but I think that would definitely like to see those on there. We're going up to 54 in a minute, so let's get a little bit more power in. So we are poodling along. Yeah, so many different options. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what Dovetail come out with next. And just as I decide to get some speed up, we get a yellow signal. Typical. SJ, oh, the 68s are still with us. So when are they being retired on the Chiltern, SJ? I thought they were going in the December timetable change. I did have the privilege of riding on one back from Worley a couple of weeks ago. Much nicer experience than coming back on a Pendolino. Definitely. Yeah, I know TPE's ones are gone, but I thought Chiltern's ones were going soon as well. Definitely a lovely way to travel though in the Mark IIIs with the 68 on there. Capep, somewhere where you change from electric to diesel would be nice. Oh, interesting. You could have though, like I said with Brighton Mainline, you could have potentially the West London line add-on for it. So if you say something about changing over, you could have South Croydon to Watford Junction via the West London line as a small add-on, where you have to do the changeover from AC to DC at between Shepherd's Bush and Mitre Bridge Junction. So that would be quite a good one. Or even the Thameslink Core. There's another classic example. You could do East Croydon to Bedford Thameslink Core, changing over at City Thameslink or Farringdon. That would be a really nice one to do as well. Yeah, I think W4LT. Hopefully someday the Train Sim World route variety will be just as good as Train Sim Classic route variety. I think what you've got to consider is that Train Sim Classic has been around for a very long time. In the grand scheme of things, the Train Sim World franchise is still new. You know, it's not been around for nowhere near as long as Train Sim Classic. And I think as you get more and more third-party developers on board, we've got the public editor now. I think there's definitely scope for things to come along. We're going to start coming downhill soon, right? This doesn't just keep going up indefinitely. I mean, when we start coming down, it's going to come down with a... I mean, I'm just assuming we're going to start coming downhill at some point. Yeah, the Festiniog would be good. But I just wonder if the kind of... Because you've got, like, the West Somerset and even the Arosa line to some extent. And I just find the slow speeds on there just a little bit boring. I don't really enjoy it because of that. I'd like to see some more continental stuff as well. I'd like to see some more French routes and some Dutch routes would be really quite cool. Maybe an Australian route, I think would be good, or a Canadian route. I think that was my cue to say Portuguese route. Oh, that was a cough. The Douro Valley, it's Series 1400, Portuguese Series 1400, which is basically an Iberian gauge class 20 on steroids. On the Douro Valley line would be amazing in Train Sim, but because like no one in Portugal really plays Train Sims, I don't think they have a player base there, so I don't think it would ever happen. I don't think there's any Portuguese routes anywhere, but that would be pretty cool. Bad X Bullet, what was going through your mind the first time you drove a train by yourself? I hope nobody catches me. No, seriously, the first time I ever drove a train by myself. Do you mean like, I'm assuming you mean like when I've qualified as a train driver and I'm not under instruction anymore. The first drive I ever had by myself was from Tunbridge to Hastings. I had been at Tunbridge doing like some paperwork and stuff and passing out as a train driver, and I had to catch the train home to Tunbridge, to Hastings from Tunbridge, and my driving instructor was with me at the time, and we were sort of waiting on the platform for the train to come. When the train come in, he said to me, "You can drive this one." And he took the driver off who was there. He sat in the passenger compartments directly behind the driver's cab and put me in the seat, and I drove it down to Hastings on my own, like literally as soon as I'd signed the paperwork. That was my kind of first experience on my own. So I was on my own in the cab, but my instructor was kind of sitting just behind the door, so if anything had happened, I sort of knew where to turn. But I think at that stage you've done you've done a minimum of 225 hours driving. I think I'd done about 250, 260. You know, you're ready for it at that point. You kind of, you know what you're doing. You've passed all your tests. There is a little bit of nerves there. They call it the sweat day because you tend to perspire quite a lot. There is a little bit of nerves there, but at that stage you've done so much driving. You know what you're doing. You're comfortable with it. So yeah, I think it was kind of excitement. They're kind of, throughout those 225 hours, you look over to your right and there's someone sitting there, and then when you look over to your right and there isn't, it's a bit of a realisation. Oh, I've got to do this for myself. I've got to think for myself. The other thing is, when you're doing your 225 hours and you're doing like Tunbridge to Hastings is an hour run, you're having a conversation with a person next to you. When you're there on your own, the reality of the job kind of sets in a little bit, in so much that there isn't anyone to talk to, and you are stuck on your own in the cab for hours on end, and the novelty does wear off and all those kind of sorts of things. But yeah. We are coming into Vincent Grade Acton track number 2. We have got a red ahead. The gradient is taking a lot of our speed out. We are over 2 hours into this stream, guys, so thank you very much for sticking with me and carrying on to watch the full run through of the Antelope Valley line. The station's in. This looks like something out of a Wild West movie scene. This is this is really nice. Yeah, Bad Bullet. It is surreal. The first time you do it, it's surreal. And I'll be completely honest with you now. Even now, there are some days when I kind of have to pinch myself, you know, because it's. I think after a while, like anything, you take it for granted, but it is still a great privilege that, you know, I'm allowed to go to work and I'm allowed to drive these machines. And, you know, it is a privilege to be able to do that. Now, we've got to go and have a look around this station because it does look... This is so cool. It looks so funky. How to ride. There's the hot dog stand again. Okay, looks like we got a red. I'm guessing we're probably going to have to wait for a service to come the other way. Hopefully not too long, though. We'll see what happens with the signal once we get going. Just heard the Metrolink chime going off in the background there that Crazy Dash was talking about earlier on. W4LT, I think the original driver was quite happy because once you've been driving a train for a long time, the novelty wears off. So if someone says to me now, oh, I'll take your train for you, it's like, oh yeah, thanks, cheers. So, but when you kind of first start driving, it's like, oh, can I drive? We're going forwards here, not backwards. That signal has now stepped up to green. Awesome, nice one. We're off to Palmdale. Is our next station stop in about 7 minutes, 6.4 miles away. We have got Palmdale and Lancaster at 17:55. We're running about 2 minutes late at the moment, so we've got about 20 minutes of this stream left, which is good because the kebab shop will still be delivering. Mum Rao's looking, she's frowning at me. Bad Bullet, you guys are so lucky that you live in England. I wanted to be a city train driver here in Denmark, but the government want to replace all the drivers with AIs before 2037. It's going to happen everywhere eventually. I think we've, in the UK, especially on mainline railways, we've got a good few years yet. But, you know, I'm under no illusion. It will happen eventually. Yeah, going downhill now quite severely. Dynamic brakes working hard. The Pack, aka Andrew, what's involved in driver training? So it's 12 weeks in the classroom, which is where you're studying signals, signalling systems, out of course working, rules and regulations, publications, what to do in an emergency, learning terminology, stuff like that. At the end of that, or throughout that, there are assessments set after every module, and you have to pass each assessment in order to progress to the next stage, with one big assessment at the end of it. There normally be some simulator time within that as well, so like in the morning you might practice, you might go through the theory of absolute block working, which is semaphore signalling, and then in the afternoon you'll go in the simulator and you'll actually drive on a simulator on an absolute block semaphore signalled section of track. After that, after you've completed your 12 weeks, you'll then go and do your... Every company is different, so this is just my experience of it. After that, you'll go and do your traction training. So your traction training is where you actually learn about the type of train that you're going to be operating. So that doesn't necessarily mean learning to drive it. What that means is learning how the train works, learning about all the systems on board it, how to go fault finding procedures, how to start it up in the morning, shut it down at night, sort of all the bits and bobs you need to know about it, how to fix it when it breaks. After you've completed all that, you need to do the traction for every type of train you're going to operate. After you've completed all that, you'll then do a minimum of 225 hours with someone like myself, so a driving instructor or a driver mentor. Within that, it's a minimum requirement of 225. If you need more than that, then that's normally fine and accepted. But within that 225 hours, you've got certain criteria to meet. So, for example, as a passenger driver, you must stop at so many stations, you must do so many cold starts in the morning, you must stop at so many red signals, you must pass so many signals of danger with authority, you must do so many hours of night driving. There's lots of parameters that have to be met within that 225 hours of driving. Once you've completed your 225 hours of driving, if you're happy and your driving instructor's happy and your manager's happy, you'll then sit a final assessment. Now, when I done my final assessment, it was a week-long assessment. So you had a day doing rules, which is basically going over absolutely everything that you've done on the rules course, so you'd redo all that. You had 2 days actual driving, you had a day out in the simulator, and you had a day that was called a static day. A static day was basically walking around the outside of the train doing faults and failures in the depot and going over bits and bobs like that. Once you've completed that used to be known as your part 6. I don't know if the terminology is the same, but that was your part 6. Once you completed your part 6, that's when you got your license to drive trains. But you still can't go and actually drive any trains because you don't sign any routes. So the next stage is you would go and learn your route that you're going to drive. Sometimes when you complete your part 6, you will also sign a route at the same time. So if you've been going over the same route while you'll be doing your 225 hours, you might find when you come to do your part 6, you've got enough route knowledge in order to sign that route, which is great. But if you haven't, then you'll be sent out to do route learning. So you'll go out normally with a driving instructor. Sometimes you'll get a cab pass and just go out with random drivers, and you'll go and learn the route. Once you've learned the route, you'll be assessed on it. There'll be like questions and answers, paper assessment. Sometimes a driving instructor will want to take you over the route for a practical drive and ask you questions as you go along. Once you've done that and you've signed your route off, you can finally go out on the main line and drive trains all by yourself. So it depends. Each company's vary. Sometimes it's between a year up to 18 months. Sometimes it can be 9 months. It depends on the training capacity of your company, the availability of driving instructors, and kind of what the route and traction cars look like at your depot. But yeah, that's the kind of basic premise of it. Yeah, so during your 225, idealistically you're going to have the same mentor all the time, but it doesn't always work like that. So in my opinion, it's good to have a couple of mentors throughout your training. You don't want to be chopping and changing mentors all the time. Or some companies call them mentors, some people call them driving instructors, depends on what company you work for. You don't want to be chopping and changing around all the time. I don't think that's particularly helpful for mentor or trainee. But having sort of 2 or 3 different mentors or driving instructors throughout your training is a good thing, because if I've got a trainee driver with me and I've picked up bad habits, which inevitably somewhere along my driving career I will have picked up bad habits, and there will be gaps in my knowledge. If another mentor or another driving instructor is taking my trainee for a couple of weeks, then if their gaps if the gaps in their knowledge are not the same as mine, they're going to be able to pick up on those and put the bits right that I might have missed. So it's definitely a good thing to have a selection, maybe 2 or 3 different mentors as you go along. Hey JLS, how are we doing? Oh, we're getting a bit of rain. I love the rain effects on the windscreen on the new Train Sim 4 rigs. The sky looks absolutely lovely as well. It's some really nice lighting effects going on here. Yeah, no worries, JLS. We had Crazy Plays in earlier, who lives on this line, funnily enough. So Crazy was giving us lots and lots of advice, but he's had to go now. But yeah, appreciate that, JLS. If I say anything wrong or anything, do feel free to jump in and correct. Always happy to take advice. Yeah, really enjoying this one, JLS. Saying as well that the scenery on this is really good, and it's got a nice lot of variety in this route. We've got some fast running, we've got some sort of slow single line twisty bits. There's a good selection of scenery. As we were leaving LA earlier, sort of running along next to roads and up into the mountains and down the other side. So yeah, really enjoying this route. Probably want to think about getting some breaks in for Palmdale as well about now. So the next live stream we do on the channel, guys, will be on will be on Monday. We should be back to the usual time of 20:30. We're going to be looking at the new Centro pack. So we're going to be jumping into the 323, probably on the Cross City, and having a look at the new Centro livery that's been released for that. So hopefully you can join me with that one. We've got about probably about 10 minutes left of this one. If we don't spad this next signal. I've left the braking way too late. It's pretty good because when that dynamic brake bites, it's really powerful. Oh, JLS, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling better soon. Oh, stop doors on the left. This is a very nice... They have made a very good job of this route and the modelling and the textures. It's other than this hot dog guy, he seems to get everywhere. Here's a question for you. How do these dudes use the toilet or wash their hands or anything like that? Or like food hygiene regulations? Yeah. I don't think I want to know, actually. Okay, that's still red, isn't it? So we probably shouldn't go through that. I was going to try and do a nice flyby shot, but being that signal's red... Oh no, it's changed to green. Okay, let's try and get a nice flyby shot then as we leave. We're going to wait at the level crossing. And it is showing that I've got my front headlights on, but they're not showing up there for some... Oh, no, we can see them now. They're flashing. No taillights again, but we'll ignore that little fact. Pack, aka Andrew, my friend is a train driver. He had someone jump in front of his train. Yeah, that's... I'm not going to talk too much about that, but unfortunately that is one of the... It's an occupational hazard. And as a driver, I've never had anything like that happen to me, but many of my colleagues have. And it's something... It is always in the back of your mind. It is definitely always in the back of your mind. Yeah, SJA gets up to speed pretty quick. It's not too bad. JLS, just so you know, you would honk a long tone, a second long tone, a short tone, then a long tone when you pass a whistle sign. Yeah, I think Crazy said that to me earlier. I've just been a bit lazy with the horn. And we can't do more than 79 because we don't have in-cab signalling, so let's slow it down. Artie, that is one of the things that I thought I was prepared for, but since taking the chair, I've just been too petrified. Yeah, it is always in the back of your mind. When you come for a station and someone's standing too close to the edge, or you see something that doesn't look right, it's definitely always a thought in the back of your mind. Andrew, so I do like steam trains. However, I can appreciate a steam locomotive. However, they're not. It's going to sound terrible, isn't it? They're not my favourite type of traction. It's kind of... I don't have the same nostalgia for them that other people do. My nostalgia kind of lies around Class 47s and 37s and 20s and kind of BR diesels, because that's what it was about when I was a kid. So I can very, very much appreciate the beauty and character of a steam engine. However, it's not my cup of tea, even if it is a kettle. There's a joke there somewhere. Bad bullet. Do you know what? If the situation gets that desperate, you just stop the train, contact the signaller, and go and use the toilet. It's as simple as that. But it's kind of one of those things, isn't it? What do you do in any job if you need the toilet? If you're going on a long car journey and you need the toilet, what do you do? You know, most people can hold themselves for a couple of hours. You kind of manage yourself, and you try not to get in a situation where you're going to need the toilet sort of in between stations and stuff. And Artie makes a really good point there. So put a little bit more dynamic braking. I think the speed's just creeping up. We are 3.3 miles from our destination, which is Lancaster, where this stream will terminate. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Which means we should play Locomotive Location Livery again.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
So before we finish up, what has everyone got planned for the weekend? I am off to Brighton tomorrow, because the legend that is Propaganda, at Propaganda on Twitter and at Helen Drives Trains on Instagram, who did feature on the 24-hour live stream, most of you know her, she is taking part in an amateur boxing event, and we're heading down to Brighton to cheer her on and going out for a few drinks afterwards, and I've got a hotel for the night, and yeah, going with my son, so it should be quite a good night. What has everyone else got planned? Have you finished your Christmas shopping? Can you even bear to think about Christmas shopping? Have you avoided Wham! Last Christmas? Monty Burns Gaming Oasis bottle might come in handy for emergency. Yeah, well, I was told when I first started driving, if you get into a cab and there's a warm cup of coffee, don't drink it, because it's not coffee. Artie, there's a part of me that wants to go see Wonka in the cinema, but if I still have this card, I really won't be comfortable in the cinema for 2 hours. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Hey, you should come to my house and watch it, Artie. I've got a full Dolby Atmos surround sound system. It's pretty cool. Right, 0.7 miles to Lancaster, which is where this train will terminate. Vince, you are the only one that has posted for Locomotive Location livery at the moment, so probably want to think about slowing this train down before we smash into the stops, or smash into whatever is here at Lancaster. We're going to try not to spad the signal, which is rather close to the end of the platform. I think we might just about have made it. I was expecting Lancaster to have been kind of a bigger station. It kind of seems to end in the middle of nowhere, this route. And we just roll to a gentle stop. We're only 2 minutes down, which is not too bad. Bad Bullet, never been to Denmark. Definitely on the list. I was going to go to Copenhagen a couple of years ago, but unfortunately things happened and I didn't get to go, but definitely on the list. So,
let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
What do we got? Who have we got? Vince, you are the only one that has posted with number 15. I'll give you number 15. 10 seconds for that Locomotive Livery Location, but we are going to do a reveal, because I think a few people have got this right. Ferrari strategist Richard, looks like you've had enough of this. I am just super chilled tonight. I've really enjoyed driving this route. It's been a different experience. I think that's how we're going to put it, but one I've really enjoyed. And yeah, it's a route that I think I could, you know, if I understood the signalling a little bit more and had a little bit more route knowledge on it, I think it's definitely something I can get used to. SJA, Copenhagen, strongly recommended. RT, Dadral event, Copenhagen meetup. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. The stick, I totally despise Christmas. What do we reckon then, guys, on the Locomotive Location livery? This one's sent in by GJ Barnard Tube. We are going to do a reveal, and I've seen a couple of people who have got this right earlier on.
It's time to reveal today's Locomotive Livery Location.
That is, of course, a Class 43 HST, First Great Western livery on the Dawlish seawall. So congratulations to everyone who got that right. And if you want to send in any Locomotive Location liveries, you can do, but the new website, thank you very much, Artie, which is www.dadrail.co.uk. I remembered, I said it right. Oh dear. Thank you very much for that. See, if you do want to send any in, you are more than welcome to send them in. How did we get on? Is that a platinum medal? A platinum medal? The platinum medals are really... Is that platinum or silver? I think that might be silver. I don't know. They look the same to me. That's pretty good all the same. We'll take it. We only lost 1,495 points for speeding. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. So there we go, guys. That is it for today's stream. Thank you very, very much for joining me. It is very much appreciated. I am going to convince my wife to let me have a kebab now because I'm hungry. I'm absolutely wasting away. JLS, I've gotten free ads and I just joined 20 minutes ago. That's not right. You should only get one every 30 minutes. I'll look into that, and I do apologise for why that's happened. Yeah, if you want to keep track of what's going on in the Davrow community, guys, you're more than welcome to join the Davrow Discord server if you haven't already. A few people have been posting pictures over there already. Look, we've got 08 Shunters, 143 Pacers, 66s. Great stuff. And you will find an invitation link to our friendly Discord community in the description below, and you're more than welcome to come over there, talk about trains, planes, automobiles, anything you may like. We've also got our railway staff channels over there, as well as on our website, which is on the screen for you right now, dadrow.com. You can also use dadrow.co.uk. They both work. Thank you very much, Artie, for that. Next stream will be on Friday. Raygun, you are certainly not wasting away. I don't know. Next live stream will be on Monday at 20:30, looking at the Centro Livery Class 323, which is one of my favourite trains in Train Scene World, probably on the Birmingham Cross City, and then that will be it until after Christmas. So have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you very, very much for joining. I'm going to press that button there, which is going to cue the music. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button, consider subscribing. That would be absolutely fantastic. The overlays don't work on this screen, but there we go. Thank you, and see you next time.